Yep.
Took long enough. Jeez. All right.
All right, let's do this, baby. Gotta win our only game.
Just the one game.
One game.
The WON game.
Oh, and on a side note, say if that day one patch, that's like 50 or 60 gigs. Expect another one that's similar within the next couple days. At least that's what they were talking about.
So, okay, a little bit off topic, man. So, from what you've heard of and seen so far, Josh, is Shadowlands just? I guess just from an outside player looking in, is Shadowlands a good expansion? From what it looks like.
It looks like it.
Okay.
Legitimately, it has
It looks like it.
all the trappings that.
Yes.
It fixed a lot of problems that BFA had.
Sounds like a plan.
Coming
through.
Storyline feels like
Sell
it
me.
should be.
Mhm.
It's interesting enough. However, the biggest question, and this is with all expansions, will there be enough content to keep people interested?
Right.
Because stuff that's going on right now, a person could reasonably get through it in a week or two. And I'm sure Safe could probably vouch on
Attest to that. Yeah.
I don't think you should be worried about content. They're gonna make sure you have a lot of. There's stuff I'm skipping right now because I just don't want to.
There's just so much to do.
Yeah, so I wouldn't worry about the content part. What they fixed is remember in BFA you had to do everything, otherwise you were behind.
Yeah.
Yes.
In Shadowlands, you only need to do two things once a week. You got to do the Torghast if you want to stay competitive.
Which, that doesn't take too long, does it?
It doesn't, because the fewer the people in the group, the faster it goes. So, and the abilities are, I'm not even joking, they're outright broken. So like when I go into prot, when Clams and I go do that shit once a week, I go prot while he goes Fury, and we just stack as much bullshit as we can. Like, every time I cast Ignore Pain, I have a 50% chance of casting Shield Wall. So I go for the ability that it gives me rage generation by like 20%, and those stack. So if you keep getting the same thing, you can get 100% rage generation. And you can get the Shield Wall to cast. Every time you cast Ignore Pain, you get Shield Wall. You can stack it. So I think we had a combination where every time I cast a shout, I cast another random shout that I have in my skill set.
Oh shit.
And you'll make me wanna shout.
Yeah. And when that ends up happening, every time I cast a shout, it increases the party damage by 20%.
Oh.
Well, I have a shout, or I had an ability that increased my shout duration by 200%. No, 500%. And then what would happen is the buff would last as long as the shout. So my battle shout has a fucking
Upgrade complete.
15-second cooldown. So if my battle shout lasts an hour, like the buff could last like almost like 45 seconds or some shit like that, because it would base it on demoralizing shout or whatever. So you could just keep spamming it, and for like 20 seconds you can give your DPS 100% extra damage.
Okay.
So Torghast is required, and then the other thing you have to do is the
Research
I
complete.
suppose you can do the weekly emissary quests, which are like stupid easy. Like you don't have to like grind emissary quests for all the, like, you know how in BFA had those random ass factions, or like random emissaries that would come up, and then you'd have to basically fucking go grind them to get those done and shit.
Yeah.
They got rid of that, so you get an emissary quest for your faction that you choose.
Okay.
And you do that once. You do the big one once a week, which you get renowned, which you use for conduits and a bunch of other crap. You get three quests. You get three conduit quests, or that, well, not three conduit, three renowned quests a week, which you have a week to finish it. Now, suppose you skip a week, next week you get 6 quests because the game has a catch-up mechanic. So you're not behind. You don't get hit with a gate. Oh fuck! I gotta wait a month now for some shit. No, it's like everyone else is at week 10 and you're at week 5. You can get to week 10 in like an hour or 2. So, and the catch-up mechanic gets faster with ults. So it's not like, oh fuck, I gotta do this on my ults. No. And a lot of the renown or whatever, and not renowned, I think a lot of the shit that, you know how in BFA if you made an ult, you gotta grind all the shit again for your ult?
Yep.
Most of the crap in Shadowlands is account wide.
Most.
Research.
Not everything. Like the faction stuff, they're doubling down on that. You have to redo the faction stuff on your character. And to be fair, looking at it, it makes sense because I think the idea that you can just swap your Shadowland expansion factions just willy-nilly is gone. Because there's like, you can swap, you start at 0 for your faction. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Your renown stays the same, but your faction level is 0.
Okay.
And if you decide, oh fuck, I fucked up, I like the old faction better, well, you now have to do a fucking like 2-week quest for the other faction because they're going, yeah, you left already. Why do you want back in?
That's why I was like, say if you should go get execute, and you're like, I ain't doing this shit again.
Well, it's 2 weeks, and it's not even so much like, how do I put it? Like, I don't even give a shit about the 2 weeks, but what annoys me is well, I wouldn't say annoys me, but it's just, why would you leave your faction, right? The whole idea is it's player choice and player agency. You live with your choices, and it's not as if you don't get to try all the faction stuff. As you're doing the campaign, as you're doing the campaign, you get 4 levels for the I want to say about 2.5 levels per the 4 factions, give or take, depending on your speed, to go through all, like, they give you all the abilities and you test them, and you go to the next area, they give you all the abilities and you test them, and so forth. So it's not like you have a choice. And then even after that, when you have to choose a faction, you can still try them out. Like, you go to the fucking guy, the representative for the faction, and you go, look, I want to try these, and they give it to you, and you go try it.
Research complete.
Okay.
So they give you plenty of time to decide. And the way it works is, I thought Condemn was going to be broken as shit for Warriors, right? Because I'm like, why would you go fucking Kyrian or whatever? Well, I was playing fucking in a Battleground. And you know how in a Battleground, like in an epic Battleground, you go indoors? Like, there's an indoors environment, you can't ride your mount, right? Well, I was talking to these Warriors, they went fucking Ardenville, what I call the furry fucking faction, right? And then they said, no, but you can turn into a fucking, like, you get the shapeshift that shamans get indoors.
Hey, that's pretty good.
And
for
like,
Warriors, that's really good.
Yeah, and that's on top of another DPS ability you get.
Not enough.
So your mobility ability is you turn into a fox indoors if you want, and you could run around. If you're outdoors, you get a 300% movement buff, and you turn into a fox for like 12 seconds or something.
Okay.
And you can increase that duration doing some shit. I don't remember how, but you can do it like that.
Research.
So I was like, oh wow, that's pretty clever.
Pretty good.
The guys are saying like, yeah, we do epic battlegrounds mostly, so this is like perfect for us. And then Kyrian, I was going, yeah, Kyrian definitely, that's like straight up trash. Also in an arenas, and this motherfucker threw a spear at our healer, and he pinned him on a wall, and then he killed, you know, our other teammate because the healer can reach him. He's pinned. So I was like, okay, that's actually pretty clever. Like, there's uses for it. You may not get the damage buff that you wanted, but you get other uses, right? It's situational. And then, like, a lot of rogues were going Reventhyr or Revendreth or whatever. They're like, oh, this is going to be amazing because of yada yada yada. No, some shitty ass rogues or some streamers decided, fuck it, well, Kyrian. Well, Kyrian get a fucking splash for rogues, which does a lot of fucking damage. And you get a legendary from that faction for rogues that when you're coming out of stealth, you have 100% crit chance for 4 seconds. Do you know how fast rogues attack, dude? Do you remember how annoying they were before? Imagine with the CC, they fucking come out, hit you 5 times, go into stealth, come out. That's fucking 10 seconds of 100% crit. Anyways, the factions are all unique. They're all overpowered in some way or another. Like, Necrolords are probably the weakest faction, in my opinion, but people are finding out that they can use the shield, the bone shield, on dead players. So this guy was using it in a, you know, the battleground in Miss Pandaria where you have to put the orbs in the center of the map, like you get a power orb. Or
Upgrade.
So what this guy did, he killed one of those guys with the orb, and he channeled the fucking, you know, ability. Now with that orb, you have like fucking, you don't get healing, but you have like a fuck ton of damage, and like your HP pool goes up if I'm not mistaken slightly, or something or other. Well, he channeled some other guy who had an orb. This dude was two-shotting fucking everybody. Like anybody would come at him, he would just slap him twice. And he had a shield of like fucking 40,000. So my HP with my versatility and stamina gear is like at 26,000. He had fucking 48-ish thousand with the shield. You're not killing that guy any like quick. He's gonna take you a bit.
Yeah.
So there's small uses for that. But like I said, there's no. I wouldn't worry about the content. What they've done is they made a significant portion of it optional.
Not enough.
That's it. And I'm not trying to hype this game up because it's only like week 3 now. So.
Has it been 3 weeks already? Yep. Or 2.5 weeks, I guess.
I mean, it's started week 3 if that makes sense. And the flight path, you know how before you have to be exalted with everything?
Yeah.
They've already come out and said you just need to be on it across the board. That's it.
Okay, that's not too bad.
This game has been handled.
Oh yeah.
All the way, man.
Oh yeah. It's been stalled.
I completely shit all over my foot, made him leave. I'm sorry.
Oh yeah. I think we all did.
Haunted Hoarder's like, I'm gonna make ground.
I don't think I've ever done that good
I'm gonna make air. Oh shit, he told my air. I'll make half and half. Fuck, that ain't it. Bye.
That ain't it. Half and half? You don't do half and half.
I didn't do it, but
ass.
I did watch the stream of a couple people doing the raid that just came out this week, and they incorporated like legitimate non-DPS mechanics.
Okay.
Like, you know, like you're fighting a bat or some shit, right? Well, you gotta hide, and you can't move around because a bat can hear you if you move around.
I watched that raid too. It's interesting.
It's different, is what it is, and I liken it to Destiny's raids. Destiny raids, I thought they were going to be bullet sponges. They're so mechanic heavy that the bullet sponge part of it are like maybe 10-15 seconds. The rest of it is just you got to get to a particular location and do a certain activity.
Talk to me.
But I haven't done the raid, so fuck knows what the rest of it's like.
Yeah, the bat fight, Howie. Bat in the middle, does like generic tank stuff, but every so often a person gets marked. If that marked person will then has to get out the raid because a bat will come and drop on him, and then it'll put like green jizz on the ground.
Okay.
And that's, you know, and there's also a thing that the boss does, where like Safe was saying, it's like an ultrasonic pulse. You get and he throws it out across the entire raid, but there's 4 pillars. If you line aside the boss, you don't get hit by the screen.
Okay.
And a lot of the fight mechanic is based upon essentially avoiding a lot of stuff via the pillars throughout most of it.
Okay.
So another portion of the fight, he'll become essentially invulnerable, though not entirely. It's like 90% damage reduction. And then when that happens, he's walking around screaming everywhere. You gotta keep moving around. Because if you get hit by the pulse, you get fear bombed for 5 seconds, then fat drops on you, the green jizz is everywhere, and that's bad.
I see.
Bad. Because sometimes you get feared to the boss and they'll one-shot you.
Bad.
That's a bad man.
That's not right.
You get one daily quest that lasts 3 days. Like I said, your faction gets the emissary emissary quests now. So you get one thing, that's it, a day. And if you decide not to do it that day, it carries over for 3 days. So, and it'll add 3 and then it'll cycle.
Pow, pow, all
You don't
those
have to do
lasers.
it. GG though.
GG though. Nope, that was sufficiently run over.
That's right.
Damn, look at
roll
Andrew's
over that
score,
little.
though. Fuck.
What's it?
Shit. Even I got a positive score.
Hell yeah.
Shit.
Damn, Josh, what happened?
But look at my Han and Horner though.
Oh. Ooh.
That
Delicious
beat him
food.
so hard.
Oh, that delicious food.
That poor man.